What is up, everybody? You know what time it is. We are back in the All Artist Studio for another exciting episode of our All Artist series. And today we have the pleasure of welcoming an artist from New Rochelle, New York. And this artist has a sultry and husky alto voice that has emerged onto the R&B soul realm. Her music has been described as contemporary R&B with heavy elements of soul and jazz. She's influenced by the sounds of Nina Simone, Alicia Keys, Arie, Lianne La Havas, and their warm, comforting timbres. She's a recent graduate from Loyola University of New Orleans, and she's balanced both studying popular and commercial music and being a Division I volleyball athlete. She has collaborated and performed for companies like BET, Coach, Meta, and has opened for R&B mogul Raheem Devon. Please, co-hosts and listeners around the globe, welcome Ìsa Blues. Please tell me I didn't pronounce your name incorrectly. Is Ìsa or is it?
Ìsa, yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, great. So jumping right on into it, you're from New York and you have this really sultry, classic, quintessential R&B quality about your voice. And obviously there are so many wonderful, massive talents that have come out of New York, but are there any cultural influences that might have influenced your sound in particular, or what kind of made you gravitate toward this particular sound of R&B? Because we know that there are different kind of offshoots and, subcategories of R&B, but what made you choose this one?
Yeah, I feel like it took me a second to find my sound, and I wasn't always a musician. While I could sing, I didn't spend most of my, adolescence growing up figuring out, what my sound is and everything. But I don't know, for me, I was always like really influenced by soulful music. And like even when I was younger, like I remember when I was like obsessed with Sam Cooke. And no one my age was like, who's that? You know what I mean? Because like I'm a 2000s baby. And um I do like when Leon Bridges dropped his album. I remember I was like 15 and I was like absolutely blown away. But like those soulful, um, I've always been into like blues and hence Ìsa Blues and like and sad music. Like you know what I mean? It doesn't always make me sad. Honestly, sad music feeds my soul probably the most. And I feel like that played a part. And like I have a lower register and I feel like it resonates so well um with bluesy, jazzy soul music like Nina Simone. And I remember like being younger and not liking that. Maybe I wanted to be a soprano or I wanted the pretty high voice and I wanted to be like an Ariana Grande. But artists like that, like Nina Simone and um, you know, artists today who have like the lower registers like Snow Allegra and her and that really made me embrace my sound and it made me feel more comfortable to develop it.
Taking a step back on why music in general. You were a volleyball player, so like sports is in your life. I'm sure there's family aspects that like look after, and then but music. Why is music the place that you are experiencing life through?
Music was literally everything. But the thing was, is like I grew up incredibly shy, like actually painfully shy. And I could always sing, but I didn't like letting people see that because I was so shy. I didn't want people to look at me and whatever. And volleyball was something I did for basically like my whole life. And um, I got good at it. So I got invested and then I got recruited and I played in college. And then something that was really bothering me was that like when I was in college, so my name is Bella. My name's Isabella. And I was known as Bella the athlete. And I was like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be Bella the volleyball player. Um, I want to be, mind you, I went to school for music. So I'm around my peers who are, in the studio and who are really passionate and really, they knew their brand and they knew their sound and they were putting out music since freshman year. And I couldn't relate to that because volleyball took up so much of my life. Like I was constantly traveling. I was constantly in the weight room, constantly this, that, whatever. I couldn't do things that college students could do, especially music students. I couldn't go to live shows, whatever. And I remember I left volleyball my junior year, and that was like the hardest decision I literally had to make because one, I had a really amazing scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember I was so scared to tell my parents, and you know what I mean. But it literally just it wasn't like feeding my soul anymore. I was miserable, and when I tell you when I left volleyball, the way my quality of life instantly drastically changed in the most positive way because I had the chance to, dive into music and to take in opportunities. And I did acting school and I did a movie and I was able to do these creative things that I always
You went
wanted to
on
do, but
tour.
I exactly like I did things, you know what I mean? I did things that I didn't even know I could do before. And it just was really eye opening for me that I was in the right space because a lot of things happened for me that don't really happen right away for people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like
Mm-hmm.
God and the universe was really
Come on, God.
like saying, "This is come on, God, yeah, come on, God." Just saying that like this, you're in the right space, and it was hard to make that switch, but I know like I've never been more certain that I made the right choice.
So talk about that. How was the, going from that to being on tour, like with one of the people that you like, Raheem Devon, and like you resonate with or like you connect with in that same voice register. So how was that? How was that? What was that
Yeah, it
process
was
like?
like honestly, it's so crazy because the way it happened, it was the timing that it happened. You guys are looking at me crazy, but I almost turned it down because of the fact that it was terrible timing. I was just graduating college and my lease for my house was up.
Mm-hmm.
I had nowhere to live. I'm in New York. I went to school in New Orleans. So I was like, where? And they're like, this guy's trying to book me and he's like, we're gonna go to Memphis. And I was like, Memphis? I don't know anyone in Memphis. Where am I have to have time to rehearse with I always perform with a live band. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I have to find new musicians. I have to find a place to rehearse. I have to find a place to sleep at night. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was very transparent in that when I was speaking to the man who booked me, and like not even saying like I'm trying to find excuses and pull out because I would hate to do that, but it was really like I don't know what to do, like
Yeah.
honestly. And because I was transparent with it, he was really accommodating with me, and he helped me find musicians. He provided a place for me to rehearse and things like that, which I'm so so grateful for. And then I got an Airbnb. I found a cheap Airbnb. I said I just gotta sleep there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did what I had to do. And I didn't allow excuses to take over, and it worked out so amazingly, and I was so happy and to do that, and that was my first time in Memphis, and it was just really exciting. It was a really exciting experience for me.
That's great. That's really great. So when that seems like the athletic spirit came out in that time, being vulnerable
Yeah.
enough to like be coached, in that moment,
Oh,
but then also,
absolutely.
also being able to like just compartmentalize and get through it and enjoy the moment. It just seems like that kind of helped. Even the switch, you had to go through
Yeah.
the
It
athletic
instilled
side.
so much discipline in me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like it really like I wasn't just like college is already, hard.
Yeah.
And I think people when they hear like you're a music major, they think like, oh, you just had to sing and play piano. And I'm like, no, my major was like half music business. I took a lot of business courses. I talked about legal issues and everything, which was really helpful for me as I entered the industry. And then the other half was like I had 10 classes every day. And then at 6 in the morning, I was doing weights, and then I would have practice right after. I wasn't even making it to dinner at the dining hall, but all these things, like, that's all to say that like it really instilled a work ethic in me to like to really get my shit done,
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about the music. Let's talk about your single, "Running." Like, so let's we'll run and start rather. Um, can
Yeah,
you describe these as the single? And yeah, just so walk me through that. I'm a big nuts and bolts guy. I really
yeah.
like to know how the sausage is made. They may not care too much for that, but I do.
For me,
Um,
like,
uh, but but yeah, like walk me through like did you write
yeah.
the song yourself? And so just walk me through the process and tell me what inspired this.
So like
What
Run and Start is
inspired the song?
absolutely my baby. Not even just because it's the first song I put out. I think for me it's like I consider myself a late bloomer because like I said, being in a music program, I was around my peers who were putting out music since freshman year, and I didn't put my song out till the end of senior year. And Run and Start's my baby because I this was like one of the first songs I ever felt comfortable showing people. And I dealt with like the most like I dealt with crazy imposter syndrome, which I'm sure a lot of creatives do. And because I wasn't writing music since I was 16 and whatever, I didn't really tap into my artistry until I was in college. And I remember I had a songwriting class and my senior year, and we had to write a song like every week we had to turn in a song. And I remember the first song I turned in, it just was like it was bad. It was just absolutely bad. And I remember I don't know what it was, why it was bad. I think it was like it was the very first week of classes, and I think it was like I have to I wasn't showing people music, you know what I mean? So it's like I have to show a class a song within a week, like so I think I put a lot of pressure on myself and I just didn't make a good song. And it happened. And I remember my teacher showed the song and I was like mortified. I was like, "Oh my God." You know what I mean? And I knew it was bad, whatever. The next week, that following week, I wrote Run and Start. And I remember feeling good about it. Like I didn't show anyone anything. He I didn't know he was going to show it. So sometimes he chooses students like, okay, I'm going to play your song today. I'm going to play your song today. And I remember he's like, Bella, I'm going to play your song when I did Run and Start. And in my head, I was like, yeah, play that shit. Like, play it. I'm ready. Play that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause I felt proud of it. And I remember like sitting, writing it in my room and it just happened like that. Like it literally just everything just came naturally. Sometimes when I write songs, I'll sit on it, I'll overthink. I'll maybe write a verse and a chorus, and then I'm like, okay, let me just let it breathe. Let me take a second. Exactly. I let it marinate, you know? Um, but that one, it all came together. And then I remember I recorded it in my room in New Orleans. And I have like my studio set up and I recorded I added all these like harmonies and backing vocals and I just was like, "Whoa, I did a good song." And I just remember feeling so proud of it. And I remember like I had such a positive response from my classmates, and that was like really validating for me because I was so scared to show people my music. And like I said, singing I've always been doing, but like songwriting that's new to me, and that's like very vulnerable and it was uncomfortable. And I learned, you know, obviously it's not good to look for outside validation, but in that moment I desperately needed it, and that's honestly what pushed me to put some music out. You know?
Oh wow. So I did see the
Yeah.
that is that and the fact that you wrote it in
Thank
college,
you.
that's something. That's yeah, that's a cool like debut single. But I saw the behind the scenes footage of when you were recording it, and I was like, and I would never have
Yeah.
known that you used to have to turn your
Oh my
back to
gosh,
like to
girl.
like perform. So like because you really, you know, because like really like, and I think artists in general like they, you know, kind of come alive in the studio. It's a different part of the creative process. But now that you've kind of overcome that anxiety of performing and everything, do you find that you like the writing, the songwriting, or do you like the
Ooh,
performing and recording it
that's
better?
tough. I feel like um I think I like the recording and the you know the making I feel like yeah, I feel like I like the recording and the performing it a little bit more. Um just because I'm hard on myself, like, you know what I mean? But I feel like I'm more hard on myself when it comes to lyrics than how I sing because I feel like me
Mm-hmm.
singing, that's like a natural thing that God gave me. And I've learned I took voice lessons. I've learned to really like use my voice in the way I want to. And I think since songwriting, like even though yeah, it's been a couple years, but like it still feels new. It still feels sometimes it feels uncomfortable and sometimes I'm like I think it's the worst feeling when I sit down and you know, might spend hours on something and then I come back to it, I'm like, wow, I really hate this. Or like nobody's gonna get what I think and you know what I mean? And I feel like that's just something that uh, is is a struggle that it'll get better over time, but um, yeah, songwriting is just it can be uncomfortable, and um, it could really make me lose my mind sometimes. But the singing and the performing, I'm like, and if I'm in the studio with an engineer I really trust, and who I know has a great ear that wouldn't lead me in a wrong direction, because I have my what I like, and you know what I mean. But a great engineer that knows how to say no, this is better, and you know what I mean. But like that you can trust, I think that's really
Yeah.
important when you're in the studio.
Mm. We were just talking before the interview, like, because we had listened to the song just again,
Yeah.
just to get the juices flowing and get ready for the interview. And Javon was like, we need a little bit more to bite off the apple. We only have Run and Start.
Trust me, I know.
We only
It hurts
have
my
it,
soul.
girl.
I'm like, damn, I wish I had more. Yeah, and I do have more. It's just not out. But I have another song coming out in 2 weeks from today. And I've been,
Okay.
honestly, what I've been taking the time to really do is because it's been a year since, almost a year since Run Star or whatever. And what's it called? I've been, working to get my singles ready, mixed and mastered, so that I can do like this waterfall method where it's like I put out a single. That way I can keep momentum going, and show some consistency, because that's something that I definitely was lacking in the beginning, and that's also because it's my first song, so I had no idea how, it would do and whatever.
That is. Well, thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
But I think those are all the questions we have for you. It is time for that game we mentioned earlier, Mystery Maestro, featuring women artists only. So there's that. But we have selected some famous R&B and rap artists, prepared a list of clues and descriptions for each artist. Your objective, of course, is to guess the artist based on these clues provided by the host, aka myself. You will also have a set time limit, which is going to be 2 minutes this time, to guess as many artists as possible. And if you're unsure about an artist, you can always use your pass, the skip pass. Javon's going to keep track of how many you have on the board and how many correct guesses. That said, good luck to you. I think what was the
So I'm getting a clue.
That's
and
correct.
I guess the
That's
artist.
correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how
You'll
good
be
I'm gonna
great.
be at this,
We'll
but
see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Give it a little warning. It's the first time.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
A multi-talented entertainer who has achieved success in both music and acting, she has released numerous hit songs and is known for her energetic performances.
Beyonce?
Negative.
No.
She just released a new movie on Netflix, and she's in Mother.
Just married Ben Affleck too long ago. Right.
J-Lo.
Yeah.
This artist released the album Good News in 2020 and is known for her empowering lyrics and charismatic personality.
Megan Thee Stallion.
This rapper, singer, and songwriter gained popularity with her mixtapes and released her debut studio album Pink Friday in 2010. She is
Nicki.
Okay. Known for her powerful vocals, this artist has hits like Unbreak My Heart and Breathe Again.
Tony Braxton.
Good job.
Okay.
Known for her smooth R&B sound, this artist has hits like Crush and The Boy Is Mine.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Why am I blanking on her name?
Starts with a B.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God,
artist
sorry.
is known for her soulful voice.
I'm overthinking.
You're good.
I'm overthinking.
This artist is known for her soulful voice and with hits like X Factor and Doo Wop, that thing.
Lauryn Hill.
She released the album Good Girl Gone Bad in 2007, featuring hits like the
Rihanna.
R&B singer has been in the music industry since the 1990s, delivering hits like The Boy Is Mine, Angel of Mine, So Gone. Her soulful vocals and emotional performances have garnered widespread acclaim.
She also from Atlanta. Mm-mm.
No. Pass.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay.
That was
my bad.
That was
Who
Monica.
was it?
New Monica. That's her.
Gunica.
Damn. Okay, that's my bad.
So that was 7. That's great. We don't know yet who has the high score, so
Seven's
we
pretty
will
good.
get back to you. Yeah, 7 is pretty good. We'll see if
Decent.
this is a high score or not. So
Okay.
I like how we threw in a low register R&B singer in Tony Braxton.
Yep, had to. We knew you.
Tony, right?
Yes.
But
Love
I think
that.
that is.
But this, yeah, go ahead. Do you want to do it?
You got it. You close out
You
the
can
show.
close it
Okay,
out.
okay.
Okay, cool. Got it. I'll close it out. So before we get out of here, we just love to do like volleyball. Let's talk about how the
Related.
with you. Right, related. Not too much.
And a half.
But before we go, let's and make sure that they download or pre-save that new song, or even follow you on Instagram, get in touch with you, collab. How do they do that?
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at It's Ìsa Blues, ISABLUES. And then you can find me on all streaming platforms with Ìsa Blues. And yeah, my next song is dropping in 2 weeks, and the video will be on the streaming platforms as well. So I'm really excited.
Great. And we can't wait to see what comes from your music journey. And please keep in touch with us. Y'all say bye.
Later.
Bye. Thank you for having me.